Good morning, good morning. It's Monday today. Happy Monday. How are you? So I just had a shower, got dressed. I'm having my coffee now. I'm preparing my coffee. This here is a really cheap machine we got from Sainsbury's. For those who are not from the UK and don't know what Sainsbury's is, it's these major supermarkets in the UK. So that was mega cheap. To be honest, we are a little disappointed with it because with this coffee machine, that's what I mean. Because we wanted to get one of those ones that makes that foamy, nice foamy coffee. Espresso, really thick one. Let me just get my crocs because my leg is giving me problems. I'm sure if you have been watching some of my videos, especially the stroke story, I've been saying that I still have problems with my right hand side. So one of the problems I have, if the floor, especially called my leg, my foot starts going inwards, and it's this awful pain. And one of the ways for me to kind of deal with it is to put some shoes on. I love walking on my bare feet, but at the moment I can't as much as I could. And also, let me just get it first. Sorry. Yeah, got my Crocs on now, so I can't walk as much on my bare feet as much as I could, or even as much as I wish I could. Yeah, and just the fact that I put my Crocs on, it doesn't necessarily solve the problem. It just kind of alleviates the pain a bit. And it's strange because it's not even a pain is the best way for me to describe what it is. But it's not even, it's so difficult to describe. Is this, because pain is something like, pain is something specific, right? This isn't necessarily pain, and it is not also not pain. So it's a feeling, which is a strange feeling, which it is extremely difficult to describe, and it's so unbearable. So yeah, so why have I decided to film this morning? Because I usually film when I go for my walks, and I'm definitely going to go for a walk today because the weather is so beautiful, it's so nice, and definitely the weather's cooled down because this morning is 8 degrees Celsius, and then in the afternoon it's going to be around 15, 16 maximum. So it's going to be a beautiful walk. The sky is clear, not even one single cloud, and also it's not windy at all. That's my favorite type of weather. Cold, no wind, no rain, the sky as clear as anything. So yeah, sorry about that. That's where we keep our coffee, because this house has got so little storage that we use the top of our cupboards as a storage place. That's so we've got coffee there and some sugar. That's coffee. Oh, sorry, that's coffee. That's coffee. That's sugar, and that's a tin to bake cakes and other things. And that's our decanter there. Oh, is it? Yeah, that's our decanter there. So yeah, we use this top of our cupboards as a storage because this house is being so badly built with absolutely zero storage. Yeah, so this coffee machine is awful. It doesn't make the coffee that we want to, even though it is advertised as making the most beautiful coffee, most smooth coffee you could ever had. For those of you who drink coffee, you may know what I'm talking about. When you see adverts, that coffee with a really thick creamy top, or when you go to maybe an Italian place, restaurant, and you ask for an espresso and this espresso is smooth as anything. No, you don't get any of that with this machine, even though it's advertised to do so. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the conservatory now. By the way, do you remember I said one of the calls, so not one of the videos, we've done some nice things to this house. One of the things was to get a fitted wardrobe fitted, and then we painted some rooms, and the dining room that I just walked through, that's one of the dining rooms that we painted. So we painted our bedroom, we painted our all rooms upstairs, the walls, apart from we didn't do anything to the main bathroom, nothing to the ensuite. So we just painted the walls. And the other wall that we painted was this one, the dining room area. Nothing else. We've done nothing else. This house is so shameful. We've been in this house for how long now? Well, my husband at least, because I've been in and out of this house many times. Me working in Africa, then me moving in, and then us separating. So he has been in this house, I believe, for 11 years, and nothing's been done to it. That's so shameful, so shameful. Yeah, so that coffee machine is rubbish. What am I going to talk to you about today? Something, first of all, update on the conversation that I had with my husband about me not drinking. Or not me not drinking. Us keeping drinks away from the house. I didn't have that conversation. I just didn't. I'm going to say the time wasn't appropriate, but I feel that's BS. There were many appropriate times. I just kept giving myself excuses. Yeah. So difficult. Yeah, I have no excuses for that. So I did not have the conversation with him. I didn't, even though I said the best time to have the conversation with him would be the weekends. I failed big time. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it. And I keep finding excuses, reasons not to, why to. Do you see what I mean? So I don't know what to say. I really don't. I might have the conversation with him today, I might not. I don't know. However, on the positive side, it's not to dampen what I've just said, it's not to hide, it's not to put to the side what I've just said. So yesterday, after lunch, no, actually, as I was preparing lunch, I made myself a drink, the same ratio, 1 gin, 1 Campari, 1 vermouth, that's called a Negroni. I poured one, rolled myself a couple of cigarettes, went inside the garage. I had 1 sip of the drink, 1 or 2 sips. I said, I don't want this. And I came in, immediately poured the drink down the sink. So essentially, I poured myself a drink yesterday and I hardly touched it. It went immediately to the sink. So that's a positive, but at the same time, not good enough. That's my feeling of it, yes. Something else I've been noticing, and I'm sure this is true of everybody, the more positiveness there is around me, the less I want to drink. So for example, yes, I had a fantastic day the day before, that, Friday, Saturday, and yesterday. I had a fantastic day, not just with myself, actually with my husband, and we had a lovely day, evening chat, afternoon, you know, just lovely day. So perhaps that's why yesterday I did not feel like having a drink at all. I didn't. I'll see how it goes today. I'll see whether I'm gonna have the chat with him today, or whether I'm not gonna have a drink today. I'll tell you, I was gonna say, I know which one I prefer to do. Well, I prefer to do both, but I tell you, I'm not gonna tell you which one I prefer to do the least. I'm gonna tell you actually, why am I messing around? The one I prefer to do the least is to speak to my husband about it. And I'll tell you, I think that's because I'll be confronting something I don't want to. Yeah, but we'll see how it goes. I'll give an update tomorrow. What else? Oh, the story of my strokes. How you guys think is going? Because I'm not a good storyteller. I'm not even a good communicator. That's one of the faults that I've got in my character. I'm not a good communicator at all. So me telling the story of the time that I had the stroke and the afterwards events and how I felt, how I still feel actually. I don't think I'm telling it smoothly. I'm telling as best as I can, as telling as my memory allows. And I also feel that when I'm telling the story, it feels a bit breaking me back and forth, because that's to be expected, because I believe that's to be expected, because I don't have anything written down. Yeah. So, for you guys who's following the story of the stroke, you may have noticed that yesterday I kind of rushed through the part when I was having, my husband and I were having problems straight after I suffered the stroke, not even 1 month in, I believe, where there was, honestly, I believe he was extremely cruel to me. So I didn't get too much into detail with that part, because number one, because to me it's really painful to go about it and to think about it, just gonna cause more damage to my mental well-being, and number two, there's no purpose of it, to go through something that was really damaging at the time, to me at the time, and you guys may think, oh, if it's cruel to you, you should have just left him, etc. I don't think that's how marriages work. Marriages work through hardship, illnesses, rich moment, poor moments. Was it called for better? What's it called? What they ask you to tell when you get married? For better or for worse? For sickness or in health, or for richness or for poorness or wealth? I'm not sure. You see what I mean? We believe, both him and I, we believe in that. We do. If we didn't, we wouldn't be married. We wouldn't be married to this day. We would have not, because you've gone through so much SIHIT. I don't want to say the full word, because I know my video may not be show to you guys. We've been through so much SHIT, And me having spoken to certain couples that have been married for 50, 60 years, that they're strong together, when you see them holding hands, and you believe in your mind, you believe they might have had the most beautiful marriage, no problems at all. When you sit down and speak to them, the kind of hardship they had to go through with each other, because with the outside world that's normal, you know, with each other, putting each other go through so much shit, you don't see. I've never actually, so I met one couple only, but anyway, you hardly find anybody who hasn't gone through such hardship with each other. So in terms of my husband giving me an absolute hard time when I needed his support the most, I won't forgive him. I tell him all the time, I will not forgive for what you did to me the time that I need you the most. And I remind him every time. You know, as women, we like to poke, don't we? When they're less expected, when they be nice to me, boom, that's what you did to me how many years ago, that day, that time, that hour, that morning, that evening. I remind him every time. And he just grows himself, like, you can see his body kind of crawls like into, oh, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, so I remind him every time. Whenever I've got the opportunity, I boom, throw at him. And I know he feels so guilty. Obviously, he's still a bit of shall I say the word? Because I don't want to say the word, and he's still a bit of a knob. I said the word. He's still a bit of a knob, because that's us. That's how we people. I'm still one as well. Trust me, I am. Sometimes wake up really nice in the morning. I just boom, I'm in a bad mood. We're both gonna be in a bad mood. There you go. Sometimes it's him, but yeah, at least I think, I hope he feels guilty. That's what he's been showing all the time. You know, he hugs me, tells me all the time, you're such a brave woman, you're so brilliant, you're so intelligent. Always, every single morning, every single day, always hugs me when I'm washing dishes, hugs me from the back. Sometimes, not always, and I like what he does here. Sometimes, out of the blue, comes home with flowers, and I like that, because that's unexpected. So he didn't even buy me flowers on my birthday. Can you believe this? Nothing. As a matter of fact, he didn't even take me out on my birthday. So, but again, there are far more important things that he does to me. A birthday is just a day. So, anyway, I'm not finding excuses for him or why. Yeah, I'm not finding excuses for him. I'm just telling as it is. And for especially you people, this is a message. What I'm saying is, if you're married, don't just give up on your marriage for small things. You know, don't. You should fight through it until there's no more hope. If you feel that the husband or wife has got some drop of honesty and kindness and purity to them, give them a chance, because maybe they're not showing that to you right now because they're going through a really, really extremely difficult period themselves. Extremely difficult period themselves, honestly. You should give them a chance. You shouldn't just come out of your marriage for no reason, especially if you know that they sincerely love you. He or she sincerely loves you, and that you also sincerely loves them. Give them a chance. The last option I believe you should take is to go for divorce, even if you have to move out of the house for a while. I moved out of the house for 2 years. We've been married for how long? 12 years now. I moved out of the house for 2 years. For example, when I moved back from when I was working in Africa, my husband was in such a dark, extremely dark mental state. So dark, you wouldn't believe it, honestly. And to be honest, I left the opportunity in Africa because I thought, if I don't do this, my marriage is going to break down. So when I came back, he was like, what are you doing here? I said, I don't want to be married to you anymore. Moved out of the house. I don't want in this house anymore. And I said, okay, great. I'm going to move out. Let me just find. Actually, I'd already found a job, because I found a job from when I was in Africa. I got interviewed online, got given a job. So when I came back, I said, you didn't want me around. Okay, fine. I'll find a place to go. And then I thought there was a given date that I was going to move out. However, that date got extended by another week. So I said, actually, no, that date, that's not that date anymore. It's the following. I don't care where you're going to go. I don't care what you're going to do. I don't want you in this house anymore. Just move out. I don't want you here. And I knew that was not the person that I met. That was not the person that I've been dating for so many years. And by the way, I had so many episodes like this one, so many. To be honest, I shouldn't have gotten married to him. That's what I feel right now. I shouldn't have gotten married to him, but I got married to him. I've got to deal with these mental breakdowns here and there, and he's had quite a few, and they also last a long time, by the way. So yeah, I said, right, I don't know what to do. So I went to speak to the girl. Oh no, I remember. When I came back from Africa, I already landed a job. I was in that job for a month. And then I handed in my notice because I absolutely hated that job. It was to work as an auditor. I hated that job. I hated the culture in that company. So I just left that job. And then I said to him, listen, before, because he wanted me out of the house, I remember clearly now, I just handed my notice of the job here in UK. Will you please allow me to find another job first? He's like, so I can move out, can find myself. I don't care. You have to go. You have to go. You have to go. That's what I remember. I remember well now. So I found the place, right? I said, right, I found the place, but I went to see the house, absolutely loved it, share a house with this girl, loved it. So I went, and then he said, you have to go, you have to go, you have to go. I signed the contracts and everything, but I said, listen, I already signed the contract. However, I can only move in the following week. No, I want to go. So I drove to to this house, see the girl, said, listen, can I come and see you for a moment? I said, listen, I'm having marital problems. My husband, I said that I can only move out next week, but he said he wants me out of the house like this weekend. And I had a serious and honest conversation with her, and she said, no worries, move in. Don't worry about just moving. She was such a sweetheart at the time. She was lovely. She was lovely, that girl, you know. Yeah, she was really nice, what she did there. And then I moved out, and then I was in that house for about 1 or 2 years. Actually, no, I moved away from him about 3 years, 4 years in two, I don't even remember, maybe, yeah, I'll say, yeah, 2 to 3 years. I wasn't living in this house. I hope I'm making sense. Sorry, I really hope I'm making sense, because my memory keeps taking me back to different places, and then is putting the pieces together, you know, as I go through and I say one thing, then my memory says, no, that's not right, that's what happened. So apologies if I'm not making any sense, and I'm just rambling on, and to be honest, I'm just rambling on to myself, really. Yeah, sorry. So again, this is part of me going through my journey, my healing. I've got so many things to heal in my mind. I've got forgiveness to give to people, not to forgive them, but to release myself of these thoughts and this hardship that I've got within myself. Sorry, I digress again. As you probably already know, I love digressing. So let me go back. So I moved out, right? And then, yeah, moved out. He wanted a divorce. He so much wanted a divorce. And I phoned him. I moved out. 2 weeks after I moved out, I said, listen, when are you going to submit divorce papers? I will, don't worry. You have to submit divorce papers, because you're the ones asked me divorce. You're the one who threw me out of the house. So when are you going to submit divorce papers? So I will. 6 months later, he still hadn't submitted divorce papers. So I submitted divorce papers myself. Why did I start talking about this anyway? I don't get it. Do you see what I mean? These thoughts just go through my mind. And I like this. I like me speaking out loud, because at least I'm not, because if I wasn't speaking right now, I'd be working and distracting myself with these thoughts. I won't be concentrating on the work and the study, which, by the way, once I finish recording, I'm going to start studying. I just thought that'd be a good opportunity as I'm having this coffee to record this video, because when I go for lunch, go for my lunchtime walk, I just like to concentrate on the nature, the animals, and maybe call somebody, call my cousins. I love calling my cousins lunchtime, just to gossip. So where was I again? Sorry, I digressed. So then 6 months later, I submitted the divorce papers, and I read the information. Said take about 8 weeks for divorce papers to have at the house, at the other person's house. So I said, great, I don't have to worry about anything for 8 weeks. But meanwhile, I kept coming to this house to make sure he was okay every week. I know I shouldn't have had, I should worry about myself, but honestly, before I started going out with him, before I was married with him, we were like friends like this, we were best friends, and I just thought, let me just check on him as a friend, not as an ex-wife or partner, nothing. And I used to come and check him every week. The state, I used to find him sometimes. One day I came here, every single window was covered with newspaper. How scary is that? Every single window. And I said, why have you done that? Because I don't want people to see what I'm doing. People could come and arrest me. I said, why? Why would the police turn up your house? I don't know, because it was in such a bad mental state that you wouldn't believe. One day I came in, because he wouldn't even go outside. He wouldn't even go for walks just to get some sunlight. He wasn't feeding himself properly. His skin was grey, like literally grey. Literally grey. Not like, I'm not even talking about maybe some glow from the sun. No, because he wasn't getting that glow from the sun anyway. His skin was literally grey because he wasn't even himself getting any nutrition in his body. So it was such a scary moment. He wasn't cutting his hair. It's such a bad state. And so I kept coming checking on him every week. And anyway, I perhaps create another story about this, the problems I've had. Actually, I'm going to do that once I finish the story about the stroke. I'm going to go. I tell you, I'm going to call the playlist "The Marriage Life" because I think it would help many people to battle through their marriages. Because there's so many people, there's so many individuals I know, some which are my relatives, their marriages broke down just for what? For no reason. No reason. For example, one of my cousins, honestly, out of us all relatives, honestly, in my opinion, she had the most beautiful relationship, the most beautiful marriage. What did the marriage break down? Just for small things. I mean, they weren't small things, but at the same time, they're extremely small things, you know. And it was her fault that marriage broke down. I'll tell you what happened. So she was studying UK. She's the one whose dad is absolutely loaded. Dad is loaded. So he sent all of his kids to live in UK, bought a house, put them living in the house, even went to private schools, colleges, universities, etc. Obviously, the private universities don't exist in UK. Fully paid everything, food, lots of pocket money because they've got a lot of money. So she started going out with this guy. This guy lived in Portugal and then he moved to Angola. She was living here, studying here. This long distance relationship. Many years later, she finds out that he got this woman pregnant. He denied, however, she showed her the evidence. This story is fascinating. I'm not going to go into it, how she found out. I won't go into it because this is a different story anyway, different video. I'm just going to tell you very much how we went on the surface, high level. So she found out that he got pregnant, that she got a woman pregnant. He denied. She showed him the evidence. Then he couldn't say anything more about it. Then later, she found out that he got a different woman pregnant, right? She split up from him. By the way, that couple, it's always been so extremely. Their relationship is to make anybody jealous. Oh, there's no problems at all. To me, to that point, I completely agree with her. Split up with him. If you guys in different countries, clearly not working out. He got 2 women pregnant. How many more women is going to get pregnant? Fair enough. So that's fine. I agree with that. And then 2 years later, after splitting up with him, I was on holiday with her and one of my uncle's wife. The uncle's wife that was with her, she's only 3 years. Actually, the same age as my husband, literally. My husband's birthday is in April, her is in May. So she's about two and a years bit older than me. So we're all there chatting, and then she opens up about him. So listen, he's been not leaving me alone for the past 2 years. He keeps saying I'm the love of his life, etc. I don't know what to do. I love him. I feel tempted to go back to him, but this the other side of me that doesn't. And this is my uncle's wife advice her, listen, you do whatever you believe is best for you. If you believe that you can take the fact that there's already got 2 kids with 2 women, if you believe you can take that on, and there won't be any problems in your relationship, and if you feel that he genuinely loves you and you feel he's the love of your life, then get back to him. Don't care about anybody says, because you shouldn't look after yourself. And I agree with that. Yes, you should look after yourself, because usually the world is always there to criticize you, never to give you support. That's what she said essentially. You should look only after yourself and nobody else. If you feel that'll be your ultimate happiness, and you can really take on the fact that he's got 2 kids with 2 women, then that's your choice. Nobody else can say anything about it. And I agree with that. I said, like, I think Kaloi's right. I think it's only your decision only. If you don't think that's going to cause any problems, then just take him on. So yeah, so they go back together. The relationship is beautiful as anything. That relationship is so beautiful. However, my cousin, all throughout, I kept telling her, my cousins kept telling her, everybody around kept telling her, she kept saying, I don't want your kids ever. When we get married, I don't want your kids to step foot in my house. We're like, don't say that. Don't say that. You should never tell a parent that. Whether the kid is outside your marriage, whether you had a kid, those kids whilst he was still in a relationship with you, you should never say that to a parent. I said, I'm not a parent, and I know that how hurtful that can be, because if you carry on saying that to him, you guys are going to have problems in the future. Because if you forgave him, you should have forgave him with his luggage. The luggage came with him. Okay, when you start going out with him, you didn't have the kids, but when you got married to him, you already had the kids. So you got married with the luggage, not just the guy, right? And that's why I kept telling her, to the point that obviously those were his kids. He's never going to stop seeing them. He's never going to stop supporting them, because if you're a real dad, it doesn't matter, Even his husband's grandparents had photos of the kids on the wall in their living room, which used to piss her off. But I said, listen, when you got married to him, you already had the kids. When you forgave him, you already had the kids. So you're gonna have to take on whatever's gonna happen going forward. No, that's right. I believe that nobody's disrespecting you here. When you got married to him, you already had 2 kids. And when you accept his hand, his marriage, when you gave your hand his marriage, I don't even know which way around it is. So when you accept his marriage proposal, he already had those 2 kids. Not when you started going out, but when you marry him. So you made that choice. So they got married, started living together. Obviously want to impose her rules in him. The kids are not allowed, etc. He's like, fine. Kids are like, they're not like, fine. When it's their birthday, I'm gonna go and see them. Every other weekend, I'm gonna go and see them. Whenever they need me, I'm gonna be there. If they got a consultation, because actually at the time they moved to Angola because he had his business. He's a Portuguese, white Portuguese guy. He had his business in Angola. So whenever my kids are in Portugal, whenever they go to Portugal and I'm gonna be there. It was clear to her, black and white. And obviously that started pissing her off. And then one time, their marriage breaking down. They'd been married for like 2 years, 3 years. The marriage breaking down. That's normal in new couple that moving together. To be honest, that's normal. I hear that from many people. When you get married, you never live together. Oh, is that the pigeon again? I think it is. We get so many birds walking around here because there's this bit of the gutters that accumulates water, so they love drinking water from there. So I digressed again, sorry. So it's a common problem with new married couple that never live together. The first 3 years are the hardest because those are the years of adapting. And the same happened with me and my husband, that we never lived together. First time living together was when we got married. So we also had a lot of adaptation to do, and ours took more than 3 years, trust me. So yeah, so then one day their relationship wasn't going well. She told me at the time marriage is breaking down. She didn't tell me at the time, she told me afterwards. He doesn't treat me right, he doesn't, we sit at the table, doesn't speak to me. And I can tell why. I mean, I can understand him in a way, because she essentially was, not only she didn't accept his kids, but she's like wanting also to stop him from seeing his kids, And one day, because he used to go back and forth Portugal, Angola, he went to business trip to Portugal, perhaps to see his grandparents, I'm not sure. So he went to Portugal, he arrived in the morning, had a shower, got dressed and left immediately. And she asked him, where are you going? Did he tell her at the time that he's going to his kid's birthday? I'm not sure. I think he did. And then she said, sorry, my memory's not good at this time. I think he did. Or maybe I'm confused with different. I think, that's right. He said, right, you're going to your kid's birthday and you haven't invited me to come with you. I said, well, you never want to come. You never want to join me. You never want to care about my kids. You never asked me how they're doing. I'm sure you don't even know their full names. I'm sure you don't even know their birthdays. You never cared where their birthdays are. So why should I invite you? And I think they had that massive argument there, and I'm not sure, please don't record what I'm saying to you. She said to him, if you leave this house when you come back, you won't find me here again. He said, okay, as you please. He left. When he got back to the house, she wasn't there. So anyway, it's a long story. Anyway, they're not together anymore. They're completely divorced. Now, honestly, to me, it was her fault. She caused a breakdown in her marriage. I believe that's her fault. She caused a breakdown in her marriage. For what reason? No reason. To me, no reason, because when she got married to him, he already had 2 kids. If that happened when they were married and he had 2 kids within that marriage, that'd be a different story. Completely different story. But now, to me, that isn't right. So, and I'll tell you what, he was this amazing guy, amazing, so attentive to her, did everything for her. Um, she also did everything for him. Her only fault was the fact that she didn't accept the kiss. That's the only fault that she had, nothing else. And I tell you why he loved her so much, and I believe he still really loves her. They divorced they separated about 6 years ago. The divorce eventually happened about 3 years ago, and to this date he's still all by himself. He still has not found himself a woman. You know, every birthday he sends a message, happy birthday, Christmas, everything. He's still extremely attentive to her. And then she said to me one time that she destroyed his life. He had this perfect life, he had this perfect wife, house, and he had his kids, and she destroyed his perfect life. And he was essentially related to her. She was his perfect life. So why did I tell this story? And why did I tell my story as well, that my husband chucked me out of the house twice, yes. There's a third time, but the third time he wasn't chucking me out of the house. The third time is something else. Which, if I go to tell the story of my marriage life, I'll tell you what happened. So, what I'm telling these stories because every single couple goes through matrimonial issues. Every single one. Obviously, some that are milder than others. Some are extreme. Some are, what's even the point of calling that matrimonial issues. So every single couple is going through that. Then, to me, if there's no physical abuse, emotional abuse, not physical, psychological abuse, obviously, if those two things exist, you should really, just get out of that relationship immediately. Especially if you involve some kind of narcissist, get out of it. That's my opinion. Or financial abuse as well. Financial abuse, psychological abuse, and physical abuse. Those three things, forget about it. Just get out of that relationship ASAP. So I'm telling you this is just because your marriage is going through some problems, major or not, obviously, if it doesn't include those three issues I've mentioned here, psychological, physical, and financial, everything can be resolved if you love each other. If you truly love each other, and if you truly are friends with each other, there's nothing you can't go through. There's nothing. And my husband and I have been married for 12 years, and one of the reasons I believe that we are still married is because, I'm not saying this, we're literally best friends. And we were best friends before we even started going out with each other, even before I had any romantic intention with him. So we used to be like that, best friends, and we still are best friends to this date. And you tell everybody, Salvi is my best friend. I say he's my best friend because we literally are best friends, And sometimes have like the other day, we went to the pub, really friendly and everything like that, And then fine. We had an argument. We just like in the pub. I got my bicycle, went back home, and you followed me immediately. We didn't speak to each other for 2 weeks. We say good morning. Sometimes we didn't say good morning, right? We didn't. But at that time, I was even thinking, right, if he wants a divorce, I'm going to tell him he's better getting divorce papers because I'm not submitting divorce papers. If you look at us now this week, he's like, We are the happiest couple anybody could ever see, could ever meet. So every relationship, every single relationship, every single person has got the up and downs. And for you to appreciate the ups, you need to go through the downs. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to be extremely strong to go through the downs, and you have to be extremely strong to go through the downs so you can meet the ups. You know, you have to. So whilst that time when I had that Billy argument, I hope nobody in the pub noticed that, because we are discreet as anything, like. So when you had the argument in that pub that time, it's like, you just said me, you. That's it. I can't put up with you. I'm going to divorce. I said, really? Please do, because that's what I've been waiting for. Because I've told you many times, I won't move out of the house until you give me the divorce papers. We are so we so meant every single word that we talked about that day, that we spoke to each other that day, right? This week, he's talking, Salvia, oh, what shall we do about the next house? Because that'll be our last chance for us to buy a nice house. We won't have this chance again. Where are we going to leave our elderly years? Do you see the contrast? 2 weeks ago, hate you, let's separate each other, let's divorce each other. Great, because I've been waiting for this. This week, talking about buying the next house, big house. We had the most beautiful weekend. We go to so many beautiful bike rides. Yeah. So for me, the video today is about relationships, whether you're married or not, whether you're just going out with somebody, whether they live separate to each other in the same house, whether just a couple is married or lives together, doesn't live together. This video I like to dedicate to relationships. Don't just give up for the sake of a trivial argument. When I mean, actually I was going to say trivial argument. I'm going to keep trivial argument because I also know many couples who separate and end up divorcing because of trivial arguments. For example, this one that I've just told you today, my cousin, trivial argument, because then she moved out. I said, please, she told me at the time, I said, please don't move out, you're doing a big mistake. Then she moved out. When she moved out, I said, please go back in the house. I'm not going back in the house. I'm not. If he wants me to go back, he has to come and apologize to me. I said to her, he did nothing to you. You're the one who decided to pack your bags and leave the house. So you're the one who's got to pack your bags up again and move back to the house. No. It said, anyway, this is a long conversation. So at the end of the day, they ended up divorcing. They sold their house, they split the money. She bought an extremely small flat for her. He stayed in the house that they bought together. Well, he bought it. She used to pay. He's the one put the deposit in the house, pay the bills and everything like that. She told me he bought the house. He paid for the deposit. He's the one who's paid the mortgage, the monthly payment towards the house. She was responsible for all the bills. Doesn't matter. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, as part of the divorce deal, he gave her half of the value of the house. Then she went on to buy a small flat for her. Great, Those details about selling, buying the house, forget about it. That doesn't come into this conversation. Just forget about it. I don't know why I got to sell this anyway. So whether big or small, the problems that are going through your marriage, as long as they don't involve financial abuse, psychological abuse, and physical abuse, don't just give up. Fight it through. I mean, obviously, if you love each other, if there's no love involved at all, there's not even no point of continuing battling that. And if you are also friends with each other, I don't mean like best friends. Okay, my husband and I, we are literally best friends. We've always been best friends. The moment we met at university, we just like boom, best friends. Always been best friends. And I'm generally saying this to you. I'm genuinely saying we've been best friends. Ask him. I think it was him coming through. Ask him. He'll tell you, Salvi is my best friend. I say he's my best friend, honestly. And the conversation that we have, honestly, if you listen to our conversation, that we literally like conversations like best friends. And yeah, there was even a time, for example, that he pissed me off so much, and he said, Salvi, why are you still doing with me? What the heck? Honestly, he's talking to me as a best friend. If I'd been you, I'll dump him immediately. That's why he did. He would give me advice, such advice, sorry, that as if I wasn't his girlfriend at the time, right? Yeah. So yeah, this video is for you couples out there. Be strong. Be strong. If you believe in your, also you have to believe in your relationship. So, no, you have to believe in your relationship. No, you have to be. If you believe in your relationship, when you're on good terms, then it's worth fighting for it. Don't think, oh, when you angry with each other, when you set a fight, obviously you're not going to have any belief in your relationship. You won't, because your mind is not in that place even. Yeah. But if you believe in your relationship, you love each other, at least talk to each other. I'm not even talking about best friends, because not everybody's a best friend like myself and my husband, or even many couples out there. But if you love each other, you have some kind of same principles. And I keep saying these three things: no financial abuse, no emotional abuse, no physical abuse. You love each other. You speak with each other. Then it's definitely worth fighting for it, because yeah, don't just divorce, don't just separate each other just because, for whatever reason. Just don't. Yeah. Because if you speak to those couples who like been 50, 60-year-olds married, if you hear some of the stories, it makes your mouth drop. Honestly, it really does. Yeah. So right, I just noticed I was speaking for the last hour and actually 58 minutes. I just look at the clock and I just rambled on. I'm sure I didn't make any sense, but as I keep saying, these videos have kind of been some kind of spiritual cleansiness of my mind, to help me see through as well certain things, to help me understand better, to help me understand other people. Yeah. So keep fighting, don't give up. Just, if you can't see a light shining, as I always say, in that black tunnel, just look harder. Keep fighting, because one day that light will shine so bright at you, so bright, you know. And I tell you how that light will shine bright at you. I believe that's when you start appreciating the small things in life. The air that you breathe, the ground that you walk on, the food that you put in your mouth, even if you just just some dry bread. Appreciate it, honestly appreciate it, because you can breathe, you can walk, you can speak, talk. Even if you can't do those, even if you can't do any of those things, there's some people not even in this world anymore. There's some people that are far gone at a very young age. Very young age. There are some extremely young boys who are fighting wars right now. They didn't ask to be there. They wish they couldn't be there. Look what's happening to them. Whose decision was that? Whose benefit is that? You know, those Ukrainian boy, Russian boys, did they ask to be there? No. And here's the world saying, I'm on the Ukrainian side, on the Russian side. Nobody's thinking of the boys' side. Nobody. Nobody. So, as I'm going to say to you, appreciate the moment. Appreciate the little things in life. You know, I understand it may be difficult for some people to appreciate those little things in life, because I've been there. I was even there last week, where I asked myself, why was I even put in this world? Okay, I'm 45. I lived to this age. I survived the stroke. What's the point of me being here? Why did my biological parents put me in this world when they couldn't even be bothered to look after me? Because who I am today obviously was from the support of my grandmother, passed away when I was really young, and my uncles and aunties gave me support throughout. But essentially, who I am today has been simply through my own effort. I took myself to university. I worked in some really nice companies. Now being made redundant with the latest one. I've lost my purpose in life. I don't think I have any purpose in life. But here and there, I'm a little bit happy. You know, like this weekend, I've been absolutely fine this weekend. No anxiety at all. Not even one little bit of anxiety at all this weekend. So let's appreciate the fact that we're alive, and we actually can breathe, you know, regardless of the situation. Just appreciate it. I know that perhaps you're looking at me, you know, I've got a roof, I've got a house, you know, and you may say, that's rich coming from her. Well, how can I say this without offending anybody? Yes, there are people who live with far worse conditions than I do, as well as there are other people who live in far better condition than I do. So just because I may live in better condition than you do, you perhaps think, oh, that's rich coming from her. Yeah, just because I live in a better situation than I do, it doesn't mean that I'm not going through, how can I say, some mental hardships, you know, because different matters affect certain individuals differently, you know, and I hope I'm going to have the opportunity to go through what happened to me in my life. And again, some of you may say, oh, whatever, I've been through worse. But it's not about us, who is going through worse and what and when. No, it's not about that. It's about finding strength and support each other whatever, whether we've gone through is worse or better than the next person. No, it's not about that. It's about supporting each other. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Honestly, I do hope I'm making sense. Oh, what's it? Oh, I really need to go and start studying, otherwise it's going to be afternoon very soon. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to me. Honestly, thank you very much. Think about your lives too. Don't just feel like you've got to drop everything just for no reason. And also, even if you're not going through any problems yourself, if you watch me now and you've got somebody, because as I said, this video is been for those who marriage, not those who marriage. No, this video is I've decided, I don't know if you noticed halfway through the videos, I decided this video is for those couples who are going through some issues right now. Even if you're one of those couples going through a beautiful relationship, no problems at all, but if you know somebody, please advise them. Don't advise them from your prospect, because as humans always like, you know, the other person's grass is always greener. Don't advise from prospect. Oh, my marriage is so beautiful, my husband is great. No. Just give those people some support, even if you don't have to say anything to them, even if you just have to listen to them, because sometimes if you say something, it could actually make the matters worse. That's how I feel, because sometimes you yourself may not be able to put across what you want to say well, or you may say something that might offend the other person, even if that wasn't your intention. You know what as humans are like big things with no meaning, and we turn that a big meaning. So even if you have to lend a shoulder for that person, just do that. I think my husband is in the kitchen. I hope he doesn't come through. So anyway, I'm going to stop now. Definitely have a lovely morning, evening, afternoon. Yes, breakfast, dinner, lunch, whatever you are. Have a great day. Fight for your day, fight for your life. Just search for that light. Like somewhere in the tunnel. All right then. Cool. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.